Welcome to another episode of the Leadership Lens, where we speak with global leaders to discuss the latest trends in the industry, future gazing ideas, and most importantly, aspects of business and marketing that we all need to be aware of in 2021. Today, we have with us Richa Singh, who is the Managing Director India for the Natural Diamond Council. Welcome, Richa. It's great to have you on the Leadership Lens.
Pleasure to be here.
So, the Natural Diamond Council is an alliance of the world's leading mining companies committed to advance the integrity of the diamond industry and inspire, educate, and protect the consumer. Richa has a proven track record of 23 years in the marketing and the general management space, kickstarting her career with JWT with clients like Pepsi, Standard Chartered, and Unilever. Richa spent the next 15 years of her career at L'Oreal, where she took the brand to new heights, both with the consumers and salons. She's been part of many award winning campaigns, including a Golden Lions at the Cannes, and is known to be a thought leader in the advertising and marketing world. Again, Richa, such a pleasure to have you on the Leadership Lens. Let me begin with asking you, what is the role of the Natural Diamond Council here in India?
Thank you again. You've been very kind and I must say very effusive with your words. But Natural Diamond Council is, like you mentioned here, to advance the integrity of the industry. We would like to, provide transparency, insight into the ethical practices that exist, sustainability, progress of this sector. So that's one aspect of it. We believe that our industry, it would help to share with the world the good that it's doing, how big it is, and how much we provide in terms of economic, social development, and as an industry, we have a large set of people involved in this industry, so we would like to showcase the talent that exists in this industry. The second part of it, which is consumer facing, is of course my team's favorite part. What we like to do is increase the desirability of the natural diamond, and showcase the craftsmanship, the karigari, the talent, the design, the epic diamonds, the romance behind the diamonds. There is so much that is there to be spoken, and we as a body make sure that all of it is shared with the consumer, and the consumer falls in love all over again with the diamonds.
Absolutely. Ever since I've started doing research for this particular interview, and I've been looking at your website, I've taken a few screenshots of stuff I want.
It's my personal dream that I walk into a room in a larger forum, and that every woman and some men are all wearing diamonds. When I see them, so I think that in our hearts we all enjoy wearing diamonds. And when I say enjoy, it gives you a sense of pleasure. You look at yourself, you have a sense of pride because of a certain achievement, a certain memory that you have associated with that piece. It gives you that, shoulders back certain sense of power that comes with every diamond. And for me, I think it's the new power jacket. Like, for a woman to walk into a conference room, it's like a true blue supporter that you have. It gives you that confidence. I would like to think
every woman diamonds is the new power jacket. Diamonds is the new power jacket. I really like that quote. Really like that quote. So, we're all aware of what's happening in our country and all the world last year, this year. What has been the effect on the diamond industry and the luxury industry per se because of this? And how are consumer attitudes? Are they changing? Because we're seeing a lot of people doing minimalistic. There's a lot of revisiting of what is this kind of lifestyle that I'm leading. Is there a change in consumer attitude towards luxury purchases?
I think that this has been a challenging year for all of us, not specifically luxury, but in every aspect of what we do. And there are the one thing that we as a team tried very hard to do was to stay connected with the consumer. We've been, regularly on chatting different regions. That's the comfort that you have of being able to speak very often, stay connected. And I think even through the year or last 15 months, consumers' mindset has evolved. I wouldn't say changed, but I think has grown into add personal experiences to it. And this has been a year of accelerated, experience which has made us reevaluate our choices, way of thinking, our habits, and know that it is very easy to make a change. You see the way that we all are behaving and our comfort with the Zooms of the world and being digitally online and chatting online and staying connected this way. And of course, while you have your negatives, some positives have come up. But staying connected with the consumer, there are a few things that stayed with us and that came back to us again and again from across regions, across age groups, men and women, is that the first, the consumer has newfound respect for everything natural. Mother Nature has proven that, you know, you are ultimately small in the larger scheme of things. And I think that respect for everything natural is really top of our list. We appreciate it, we admire it, we recognize the beauty of it and what it means to us. The second is that you want to, while you're happy to do a luxury purchase, you want the purchase to hold meaning. Everything you buy needs to have some personal connect with me, some meaning, some emotion attached to it. So it's not, I'm not saying the price doesn't matter or, up or down and whatever your comfort with what you're spending, but the emotional connect has almost become a necessity. It's not like people are buying just for the sake of buying. So, and, uh, you know, they are ready to buy fewer but better things in life. So this is one of the phrases that got repeated very often for us, that we want fewer better things in life. We want things that will be remembered. We want things that a person, will look at and remember that it was given with love. And that's the last on my list of consumer behavior that has come, is that they are looking for ways to express their emotion and love. They want their loved ones. And I think this is a larger spectrum of whether it's your family, um, mom, wife, partner, friends. You want to tell them what they mean to you. So, you no longer want to say they know what I think. You want to express it. So combining all three, um, selfishly, I think we are poised. We are in a great place. We have a product which is natural. We have a brand which is natural, is a perfect heirloom, lasts forever. You look at it, it means so much to you. So, for us, it has worked. But at a larger scheme, I think for luxury, it's not a, the consumer is making the right choices and choices that mean so much to them.
Absolutely. I think in terms of luxury, the consumer is definitely becoming more value for money. So value maybe in terms of money or value in terms of emotion. That is also something that is very very important. So makes a lot of sense. Diamonds are perfectly poised in that manner,
Yeah.
in the right place. Great. So uh, but how do you think COVID affected, say, luxury brands? Did it affect them into a hard reset, or was it, are they still looking at this like a short term blip? Are there any long term changes that you see, diamond brands or luxury brands incorporating
I think that
in the last one
I
and a half
speak
years?
specifically for India here, and I probably not globally, but when we started, we probably all of us assumed and started thinking of it as a short term and a blip in what is happening, and we would go back. And I think that the smarter, fewer brands were started planning for contingency, so they fared better than most. And there are some who took a while to start and kept thinking, had a positive outlook, and nobody really started the year last year expecting this to last as long as it has, and we don't know for how long. We are hoping, every month, every week, you hope that it's going to stabilize and this is the last, or it slows down. And but yes, it has changed. I think the one big change that we noticed as a sector is that a large part of what we took for granted is now challenged. So the first one is the um, fact that our industry in India survives on trust. So, you buy jewelry, you go to a person you trust, or you go to a jeweler, designer, a brand that you trust. And this is somehow a lot to do with a physical interaction, a meeting with a person. And while the first few months carried through, I think soon the brands felt that this is something they may need to remind the consumer of, and we've quickly changed. And there are some great examples of what has been done. And the second part of it is again digital, which has become, which was, which had started in our industry, was probably slow on the curve, or was taking it, the pace was slower. And I think that last year has accelerated the pace of our being a part of this digital landscape. And the combine the two, the trust, the experience, you've had to take the experience of it online as well. So how do you convert the physical experience of them coming into the store, spending time with you, having a cup of tea with you and discussing and arriving at something that means something, which is an heirloom that you're buying forever, or buying for your most precious loved one. And how do you take it online, and it becomes a little cold in that sense. The experience, the whole journey of purchase is lost, and our brands have had to recreate this journey digitally. And I think that that's been the biggest challenge. And I'll give you one example, and in my head it's here to stay. The one part which is a given, which is here to stay, is the discovery. A lot of discovery in our category happened in store, where a person came, spent hours and hours, and went through 30 things, came back again and chose what they wanted, and then chose bits and pieces, and everything was custom created for them. Now I think the discovery is happening online. So the exploring of multiple designs, categories, process, a fair bit of discovery is happening digitally before the consumer reaches out to their preferred brand. So an example, and a lot of big brands have done it, is that they started to do these personal connects on WhatsApp, or they started to have their collections showcased on WhatsApp one-on-one. So they were still doing consumer showings, but on WhatsApp, on FaceTime, on Zoom, and they were doing these calls where they were showing the collection exclusively. So they have found ways to stay connected and sell and create bespoke stuff. Of course, the quantum is slower, but I think that some brands have done a great job of it. A lot of social media has been upgraded. A lot of websites have been upgraded with the content, the kind of collections, how they were showcased, the way they were showcased. Because here, initially you just wanted cues, and you said that ultimately she'll take a cue, but she'll come to me to see the details. Now, you know that you need to give more than just a cue. So a lot of websites have been upgraded as we speak. So I wouldn't say that e-commerce has exploded for us, but I would say digital world has grown really big for us. So the discovery, the exploration, the questions answered are a lot online. So even I know of brands who do sessions just to answer your question. ऐसा क्यों है पीस, कितना मोटा है, अंदर क्या है, क्या weight है. So there are lots of things that you can answer which a consumer doesn't feel confident just reading, especially when you're buying luxury, to just read that this is it. It just doesn't feel connected to them, and this is how we built it. So a part of it is here to stay for sure. I think that we will come into a hybrid version, hopefully at the end of it. So, there will be discovery which will still stay strong, but a part of it will go back to the physical human connect.
Absolutely, Richa. So you're saying that the consumer has started moving ahead in the purchase journey. So while it was, initially just research or just inspiration to go into a store, they've certainly moved far ahead in the personal journey online, even if they actually make the purchase offline.
Absolutely.
And right, so when it came to some of the best luxury brands and offline media, they've struck a really strong balance between the brand and the product experience. And you're saying that they're trying to replicate the same things on digital. So what are the various ways in which they're doing it? You just mentioned they're doing it on WhatsApp. What are the key pillars to luxury on digital? Is it content marketing? What is the role of influencers? Can you touch upon how big digital is? I know it's a big question, too many angles, but
yeah, I'm come back to specifically on influencers. I think that I personally think that they play a very important role, and they're almost like a bridge between the brand and the consumer. So I think positively. I think, and I would like to at this point, before I even go deeper, to say I would like to acknowledge the great job that influencers have done in terms of supporting the indigenous brands, the smaller brands through this period. And, I have discovered so many new brands in fashion, in jewelry through influencers mentioning that, this is a brand that's doing great. And I also think that they have showcased a side of brands which doesn't get showcased. So a lot of their do good activities, the sustainability in the industry, you don't really, go out searching for it, but the influencers are sharing it, and that's in my head been a great success. There are pros and cons. I wouldn't say that all influencers do. It becomes fairly transactional with some of them, but I think the final decision still lies with the consumer. It is for me to decide how much of what the influencer is saying I need to take. And I think that the consumer is smart enough that they will, this is one aspect of information. The brand shares
Correct.
information, you refer to something else. So the influencers become one part of it. This year, it has become all that more important because you don't really have that many more red carpets or that many more looks that are coming out that usually in the
Correct.
fashion industry, and I count ourselves in, as an extension of that in some aspects.
Correct.
Which you're not seeing. So in that sense, it's been great to have influencers who showcase stuff, talk about stuff. So for me, positive. Like I said, I commend them on certain things. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are. Some are very transactional. You wonder and say, what is their area of expertise? We have influencers who talk across the board, from food to clothing to transport to travel to fashion, and you say, but why not? It could be a lifestyle that I follow. So why not? Um, they're a different version. I think we as brands need to balance it out. It needs to be a mix of, we can't just depend on them, but remember that they can be strong allies or strong intermediaries. When you said digital, I come back again to say that for us, especially in the year where you can't physically visit a store, and why going out was a restriction, I think we've lived a lot of our lives voyeuristically through digital, right? Whether it is seeing what's outside or planning, and that's kept us happy to say, this is what I will do. I've made bucket lists, or I've made checklists and said, this is what is going to happen. And, you're planning what you do next and what you would like to do. So I think that is really here to stay, and that's a big, big thing that digital has done for us. So it's the discovery of things which we spend a lot more time digitally. I think the kind of amount of time that a consumer has spent versus what they used to is changed dramatically. So this was the year where brands can now also continue to leverage the attention that you have of the consumer. So yes, we will all be fighting between us to get the consumer's attention, but remember, they're not stepping out, so you have that much more time with them. So this is the time, please leverage them, build relationships, build equations, tease them with what you have, and hope that, uh, I think everybody should plan to come into consideration set rather than saying that abhi dekha aur abhi kharid liya. I think that there's a lot of assessment. I feel no desire or necessity to go out and buy today. But
Right.
I am spending time discovering slow fashion. I am spending time understanding, how authentic the brand is, what the sustainability is. So there are things that um, consumers are spending time on. They want to understand the credibility of the brand. Are they embracing a brand that is authentic, natural, sustainable, purposeful, timeless? So there are, things which you probably wouldn't have spent time on, which you're doing now. So it's an opportunity and a call to us to say we need to do these things. And if you are as brands doing it, this is the opportunity to showcase it. This is the time that the consumer is asking for it. How many consumers check, And again, I come back and say that our category is perfectly poised. We are the perfect example of slow fashion. You wear the same piece again and again. You wear it with different piece of clothing. You reset your mother's piece. It's an heirloom which you're going to probably, bracelets become chokers, chokers become mangtikas. It's just restyle, repurpose, reuse. It's the perfect Fine jewelry, fine diamond jewelry is the perfect example of what a heirloom is, which lasts forever. So, it's a for us as an industry, it's the time to treat this as an opportunity. The other thing which I must confess, sorry, it's been a long answer, but is that uh, we need to use this time to upskill. This is the time where we need to develop our teams, and I think we have worked hard as a body. We have e-learning platforms that we've managed to set up really quickly. A lot of brands are talking about training their teams because you can use digital as a platform to do it so well. And this is usually, you may not get as much time to do it. And this is the time that you can make the team aware of what it is, explain, educate, grow them in their aspects. It can be specific to them, it can be a larger thing, but this is the time to upskill whatever aspect of the industry you're in. Use this, I would say this is the time. Learn, grow with the consumer, but go back with a bang.
Absolutely use the time to upskill. I think it's very important for us to see more of the luxury industry coming online and doing e-commerce initiatives. So, Richa, while we talk about digital transformation, upskilling, e-commerce, D2C initiatives, you spoke about, people talking to your consumers on WhatsApp, one is to one. The luxury industry was kind of the last to come on board when we talk about all these things. But clearly last 5 years, a lot of new happens. Last 1 year, a lot of new things have happened. Do you think this year kind of really accelerated this change that you're saying is going to stick for a while now?
Yeah, means I may sound sorry, pardon me if I'm repeating myself, but I think that this was a huge wake up call for us, that we cannot treat ourselves as we need to be more inclusive with the consumer. So when I say inclusive, it is to adapt to the platforms that the consumer is on. We cannot bank on meeting the consumer or going through, the journey. We need to go on the journey with them. And I think that a lot of brands have done it beautifully. The kind of campaigns, they have been very empathetic. The people realize, it needs to be, today the communication needs to be such a perfect balance of empathy, helpfulness, but also at the same time a dream and a vision which is more positive for the future. So I think a lot of brands have got it right. I think a lot of brands which took the consumer for granted have had to wake up and quickly do it. So yes, totally agree. This has been an accelerated growth path, especially digital. Direct to consumer, absolutely. Again, like I said, we need to go where he or she are. We can't wait for them to come to us or bank on where we are. This is the time where we needed to tell them that we are authentic, we are true to what we say. So, if I say I stand for X, I needed to prove that or well, proof is probably too strong a word, but I needed to show that I am who I say I am. And, and that's um, it, it's given a lot of brands the opportunity to show the good that they do. And I must say that there is a lot of good that happened in the industry, and this was the year to, an opportunity for us to show, take. So while challenging, I think it's been good for us in some ways in terms of our development, at least digitally. And I hope to see a lot more interesting stuff that comes out. Just look at the way the fashion shows have been. Means I have lived through a Paris Fashion Week so beautifully this year as well. So it's some things it has helped us redefine and get creative with. And I think it's been an interesting journey for us. We personally have done a lot of things that I think are great. We again with the fashion week or with um, uh, again when I said upskilling, it was also a lot of sharing that happened within the industry. So within our industry, whether it started with an extreme amount of webinars where every day was a webinar, to now I think we've reached a sort of a balance where you have only for specific topics, people are attending for specific topics. So but it has made you that much more comfortable to take in knowledge which you um, maybe when if the world was open wouldn't have spent time on. So I think that this year I would look at the positive side of the coin and say that it's been an opportunity in so many ways for us.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about, speaking the digital language and, having empathy and purpose for brands, I think it's also important from a Gen Z perspective, because that if you want to capture that audience, that's where they are. And this is the language they talk now. So I
Absolutely.
think very, very, very good measure to come on to digital and take on these kind of initiatives. So Richa, festive season 2020 was really good for the industry, and I know the economy, we as everyone in the economy kind of picked up, including the advertising world. In a post-COVID world, and when I'm hoping that we'll be out of this in a few more months, what are your expectations from festive season 2021?
I think we are being cautious at this point. It's been a very tough phase for everybody, and it's come too close to home. It is not to even forget 2 degrees of separation. It is coming to everybody's home, and all of us have gone through pain in some form or the other. And I think that we as an industry are truly rooting for things to improve. Um, for us, our consumers are really like an extended family. Like I said, every partner will turn around and say, we have, gone to this jeweler, this designer for the last 4 generations, 3 generations. So it's extended family. So, at this point, we are sitting here and saying we want things to improve. We are not talking business. We are really waiting for happiness and good health and just for loved ones, the economy, to not be suffering, not be going through what it is. So here is there's a lot being done in the industry. We are planning to showcase some of it now on our pages to say that there is so much that goes through. And I think that the last few months, if they've taught me something, is that there is so much good in this world that if you look around, people helping, every platform has chosen, digital has been used so beautifully to help people. And while there is some bad, I think that there is, oh, the good has overshadowed the bad in the last couple of months. And it really gives me hope that we will come out of it stronger, better. I think we have all of it exists. I don't think we as an industry have started to put a number on it. Yes, every individual brand is working on numbers. We are hoping our businesses are suffering. But at this point, we as an industry together are sitting here and saying we are working towards things improving. We are working towards things getting to a better state. We want our families, our consumers to be in a happy place. Along with happiness will come our sale, will come our we strongly believe in our product, and you will see that this industry, anybody who's in this jewelry industry is a strong believer, is totally in love with our product. So we have faith. Our product is perfectly poised for when the time is right and when we are ready for celebration. And I think that soon we will come out of it and be ready to celebrate. Fingers crossed, and God bless.
Fingers crossed. Yes, let's have hope from the festive season. Sustainability is here to stay, and brands definitely need to include it in their business and also in their business communications, right? So
Yes.
how does Natural Diamond Council view sustainability? What are your initiatives that your partners and your members have taken towards sustainability?
I think that sustainability is a given now. I don't think it's a special action you take. I think it's becoming hygiene for most of our businesses, for our industry. Um, 2020 has, as a year, has tested humankind at an incredible level, and the we are looking for the diamond mining community has also looked for new ways of thinking, keeping the community is safe, looking at fresher collaborations, how they can be, and sustainability has been at the core of it all. So if you just look at our members, all the key members have balanced financial pledges with the grassroots communities they support. We are tapping into existing social projects and networks. We've shifted the focus on to fighting against COVID-19, but we have large communities that we support anyway. All the members continue to do it. They have, since last year, we have strengthened, the members have strengthened and supported community healthcare projects. If I pick an example, the Beers Group and its joint venture partners have contributed almost $10 million through community response efforts. And Alrosa, which is our next big member, has destroyed about $8 million worth of funds. Majority of these have been targeted towards healthcare and keeping this in mind. So there are local communities that we already partner with. We have supported, established more and gone further. At the same time, in 2020, the 7 of the members reinforced their long-term commitment uh, to deliver sustainable development and have created common pledges, which are in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we have all pledged. The members, 7 members, have pledged towards that as well. And this was done in 2020, early 2020. So through the three things, I think that you're hoping that each member is, has their own comprehensive sustainability strategy and commitments depending on the location of their projects and where it's happening. Also keeping in mind the culture, the need of the community. We are spread across the world. So, what is the need? What is how the requirement of the regional government, the national government, and through the strong pledges. So it's at the back end level, all of this is happening. At a front end level, we are reinforcing to the consumer that, you know, uh, this is the perfect example of slow fashion, like I mentioned earlier. This is something that you buy fewer, better off. You buy a piece, but you know that it is going to last forever. It's, you hear of things which are 300 years old and are passed on again, and you are buying something which you love today, has a perfect memory for you, gives you happiness, and tomorrow you pass on that happiness to your daughter, your son, your loved one. And it's a perfect example. So at the manufacturing, at the mining level, and at the consumer level, I think we are straddling across and making sure that we do a bit for the industry. And last, even though it's not exactly sustainability, but do good, I think there's a lot of the industry bodies, the retailers, the designers who are doing great for the community. And there's a lot of examples, but it's not just exclusive to our industry. Like I said, I'm proud to be where I am today. These last few months have shown how much we as individuals, we as companies can do. Every small bit has added up, and I think that it's brought us closer as a community. It's made us appreciate each other as a community, that we need each other, what we can do with each other. And I think that that's really commendable to, and a acknowledgement to all of us as Indians on how great we can be together.
Wonderful. So, Richa, I think that was a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much. It's been an eye opener on the luxury and the diamond market. Honestly, I was also not aware that so many things are happening specifically on sustainability, so specifically on doing good. Any parting thoughts or advice for the luxury industry in general, or the marketeers in the luxury industry in general?
I don't think I should be sitting here and giving yarn, but for me, I think that it's a great industry to be in. We are privileged to be working with the people that we have. I have had the last few years that I have been here, I've only received a very warm welcome and uh, partnerships that I could have only dreamt of. And these are tough times, but we are here for each other. We are an extended family, and I think better days are coming. So hang in there, stay strong, and we'll be back and better and sooner than we know. So God bless us all.
Amazing. Thank you, Richa. Thank you so much for your time today with us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for taking out the time and speaking with us.